go into the Harlequins game this weekend, and in Quins as a side you've beaten already this season, and does that give you heart going into the match?
Well, I think what gives us heart is that we think we're a good side. We've, as I said, we've avoided getting on some kind of roller coaster of being down on ourselves, and I think you saw some results at the weekend. We've stayed positive about what we've tried to do. The results haven't always gone our way. We're very aware of that and things we've had to work on. I think we're probably still very disappointed about the Sale second half situation, because ultimately you look at the table now, and that was a game that we'd got ourselves in control for, we'd prepared well for, we were up and running in the game, and had developed a lead and kind of let things slip away. So you add up the season as a whole, some things will go your way, some things won't, and you have to take those on the chin. But I think where we are now, I think we're 3 points behind where we were at this stage last season, which, considering the way some people have talked about, the latest run of games we've got, you wouldn't believe that it's that tight. But that's how tight the Premiership is this year. We've got an opportunity to pull some results together and do very well, or we've got an opportunity to let the season peter out. And I think looking at the attitude of the players this weekend, you can see where their minds are.
Nonetheless, it's always better to come into a game against the team at the top of the table off the back of a win than off the back of a defeat, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because it's just kept the season alive for us. We were getting in danger of slipping into that position in the league where maybe we couldn't do too much upwards, and we're probably just having to be careful of what happened below us. Now that's changed now. 5 very valuable points, and the season is exciting for us, and that's how we have to approach it. We have to be excited by going to Harlequins and play in that manner. That's when we're good, that's when we're dangerous, and we'll approach this game very positively.
And you'll be the first team, if you do beat them, to do the double over them this season. How would you feel if that happened?
I'm not too concerned over things like doubles and beating individual teams. For us, we've always talked about it is what we can try and achieve, and the reality is Harlequins are a very good side. As I said earlier in the season, they're a team that's got a bit of swagger about them, and rightly so, because of the way they're playing and the results they're getting. And they're a team that really are kind of playing in every area of the pitch and in a variety of ways, and that makes them dangerous, but it also in some ways makes them kind of a little bit easier to prepare for, because you just prepare for everything. Anything could come at you, in all aspects of the game. So it's about just being focused and switched on and staying alert. But we like to think we play a little bit like that, and hopefully that holds us in good stead. And finally,
fitness-wise, how's the injury list looking?
Yeah, we're a bit bumped and bruised from the weekend. We picked up 3 or 4 injuries from guys who had to come off. We're chasing Schumacher and Dean and Hawaii. Everyone's aware that they had to come off. And we are kind of assessing them on a day-by-day basis. Some of them have had some limited time in training already and are kind of on the way back. Other guys are there or thereabouts. But it's like anything, the squad's slowly becoming fitter. We are getting injured guys coming back. As you saw, Dave Ewers was back last week. Chrissy Whitehead's pretty much there now. James Hanks is pretty much there. A couple of other guys will be back after the 2-week break. So we're slowly becoming fitter. But we do have the odd bump and bruises like everybody else.
You talked about the character of the boys in particular last week, Rob. It was really important to get that W back on the board again, wasn't it?
Yeah, and as I say, it was just about getting a bit of confidence back and playing well, and you kind of saw how things can open up in the second half of a game. I think the key for us was we made a lot of good decisions. We took our points early in the game. We went to the corner after we had some evidence that we could drive them, and came away with a try. And as I said, as our confidence grew and our ability to control the ball at the breakdown, there was only ever going to be one winner. But as I've said, I've kept saying through the winter period, the way we play, the pitches will firm up and we'll be right back in the running again. And that's kind of what I think has happened. But the key for us is to make sure the London and Welsh performance isn't just a kind of a one-off, that we show that enthusiasm and that attacking intent now for the rest of the season.
A bit like Saracens, you know what's going to come at you from Harlequins. They're going to try and run you off the pitch pretty much everywhere and at every opportunity. How do you go about getting the boys ready for the game?
Well, it's like anything. You shouldn't need too much. As I say, we're up and running now. The pitches are firming up. The conditions are improving. We like playing against Harlequins because they're good games of rugby. And we just got to be nice and focused and alert and try and do what we do. I just hope it's a really good game of rugby. They tend to be when we play Harlequins, one way or the other. Sometimes you have to take the losses, and that's what we'll try and do. We'll go there and we'll aim to play very well, and the guys are very prepared to do that.
When you look back at the game here earlier in the season at Sandy Park, have you learnt things from that you can hopefully do again?
Not so much necessarily. I mean, we hit a run of form that day, and I think Harlequins stuttered a little bit. We just played a good high tempo game, and we were physical at the contact area, so we controlled the ball. And I think the reality is that's what you have to be able to try and do every week. We forced a few things on them, and a little bit of pressure tone ball our way, and we were clinical. And the one thing we maybe have been guilty of not being too often this year is clinical. But that's where we have to be in this weekend. We're working on it and we're improving as a side. I think you're seeing that from some of the tries we're scoring. We're only 1 point, we're only 1 try behind Harlequins in the try scoring stakes. So we're getting there bit by bit. And as I said, the key for us is to kind of stay true to ourselves and keep working hard to be the kind of team we want to be.